This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system, announcing the commencement of the annual Purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Any ethnic group and social class ranking above the African American have been granted immunity and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime will be legal that has been legal for the past 400 years. But unlike previous purges, this purge will not conclude in just the unjust killings of black men, women, and children, but shall be carried out through an elaborate campaign of various methods. The purpose of this purge is prescribed in the very definition: to expel whatever is toxic or undesirable, to purify. This outline will aid in achieving maximum success in this genocide, mission. But before we establish any action behind this plan, a precedent must be set. It's an imperative that a relentless attack on their characters be deployed. We must inebriate the sobriety of society to see them as a menace at any cost. Reform the opinion that there is any good in them, to that without them this world is better off. So when mass incarceration and murder takes place, it's not seen as a loss. They're ignorant to their collective power, so we will use this lack of knowledge as a weakness, because the most effective way to defeat an army is to convince them that there is no war to be fought. We can exhaust the idea of a future by jogging their memory, rob them of their true history with repetitive imagery of subservience and misery, only show them the slave, denounce them ever being kings and queens. See, we must keep them strong physically, but debilitated mentally, and whomsoever should step up to fight back, shoot them down literally, exterminate their radical leaders and blame it on conspiracy. Deny the wants, neglect the needs, understand they will eat whatever we feed because their people lack literacy. But we mustn't be blatant with these implications. The goal is not to prevent them from learning, only to control their education. We have to drown out the ramblings of truth by amplifying the voice of ignorance and giving him glory, silencing the tongues that speak with revelation in their story. It's a must we employ these decoys to promote impoverishment and embellishment, preach the ideology that the only way to a life of betterment is through the detriment of his own kind. Can you see it? The risk and rewards are intertwined. We have to free the body to control the mind. We now live in a different time. And although docile divided, the single most dangerous assembly is still the Negro United. Provided the superior genetic makeup of the inferior threatens to pollute the purity of this nation, and the only way to salvage what's left is through a like segregation. The elimination of anything all begins with the smallest of cracks, and we shall begin with their foundation: family. Plan A is to distort the image of black man to black woman and black woman to black man to the point where they have no aspirations for procreation. Take this conditioned hate they have for each other and exploit the separation. Take the man and give him prowess through sexual conquest, not seeing the woman as a partner, but merely an object. Broadcast them as animals, confined in cages, killing each other for territory. Show them as absent fathers, users and abusers, loyal to only money and sex, scared of life but not afraid of death, leaving the woman on her own. And she is the most vital piece, because she will begin to pride herself on being overly strong, and alone she will grow to resent the man. And it's her strength that will make her weak. Use this direct fear of dependency to empower the woman's independence, leaving her to see no use nor value in the man, and vice versa. And this is the crack that will spread to the future generations to come, with their daughters believing they don't need a man and their sons not wanting to be one. Consistency is the key. And if all else fails, there's always plan B. This will not be immediate, so we must be patient. Remember, the plan is not to kill them all, just to have zero growth in their population. Because I'll be damned if we allow these United States of America that we discovered to be overran by the very people's hands who literally destroyed this land. And with that being said, we will continue to take life under the same pretenses that they do, in absence of value and opportunity. The conflict of crime congested in their community will allow supporters of this purge to publicly murder with impunity. If done correctly, beautifully, we will be able to camouflage our intent inside their protest and disguise their demise inside their celebration. And foolishly, they won't notice that gathered around another dead body is the only time they're ever together in unity. But provocation is inevitable to retaliation, so we expect some episodes of rioting. And the aggression in which they will respond will only provide more justification to our initial cause: incarceration. We will use people in a position of power with like resemblance to mediate and alleviate any leftover tension. They will instill the belief that the only way to combat our violence is with peace. The police will aid in the efforts of ridding the streets of this nuisance. The badge will give power and offer a new sense of martial law matched as defense. They have applied a tight grip around the neck of this problem, and there's been no need for a new sense. The most powerful weapon we have is fear, and that will induce the compliance. It will become so that at every instant the most menial tasks are life or death decisions. Life has to be seen as a privilege that they live with our permission. The oppression must be so constant that they begin to see this way of life as natural. They must become so conformed to believe that these conditions are normal that they willingly put up their lives as collateral, which leads us to deception. Propaganda says, make the lie big. Make it simple. Say it with enough repetition, and eventually it will be believed as truth. Hands up, don't shoot. It's just a cry of their submission. But every life claim won't be acquired by the bullets that hit the target, so more momentum will be gained from our misses, like the miseducations, the misleadings, the misuse, the misappropriation, the misjustice. We will use all available outlets to instill these applications so they may feel more paranoid and protected. And on the surface, the service will seem objective, but the only objective is to serve us. The mantra protect and serve is only in place to protect those whom serve a purpose. But they aren't completely worthless. They possess just as much skill for forward progress, so their only use is economically. But ironically, they only find quality in material quantity. They long for only the aspects of social equality, so they won't spend money in their own black-owned businesses, making us rich and keeping them in poverty. This is what I call subconscious robbery, the blind destruction of the minority to be seen as part of the majority. They have been misled by a self-created illusion of progression, and silently, we will continue to make a mockery of their disregard to their continued mediocrity. They may no longer be slaves, but they will always be our property. Blessed be our new founding fathers in America, a plantation reborn. May God be with you all.